Chris Ockley here with Missouri Track Fanatic, June 8th, 2011, in West Des Moines, Iowa, with Leslie Farmer, the Mizzou junior and Jefferson City graduate who's qualified in the 400 hurdle. Now, Leslie, first tell me about, obviously, you mentioned you've got a pretty good athletic family. I know your sister played tennis at Jefferson City and then at Mizzou, and you're... oh, no, okay. Okay. I thought I saw that online somewhere, but not even 1 year this season, huh? Okay. Well, obviously I was classmate and teammate of your cousin Kirk, as he was a standout in basketball and football and golf at Jeff City, and then football at Mizzou, and had a stint in the NFL. But your uncle also had some good accomplishments. Tell me about your parents. Were they athletes themselves?
Yeah, both my parents were athletes. My mom, she ran track, but she mostly played a lot of basketball, and so she was really good at basketball. And my dad played every sport, and he just focused more so on academics and stuff when he got to college, but he's a good golfer, and he used to pole vault and run on the 4x2, I think, in high school. Cool,
okay. Tell me about you. I'm sure you, like most kids, grew up playing all kinds of sports, but tell me what your first introduction to running or track and field was.
Well, yeah, I played sports starting, as early as 3. I know I did gymnastics and YMCA soccer and everything like that, and
the good old green and white reversible jerseys for YMCA soccer.
But my I don't know, I just remember always racing on the playground and always racing my brother and sister. And, so I mean, I can think back as early as loving racing in preschool, playing duck, duck, goose, because I always thought I was faster than everyone else. And but I'd probably say my first real introduction was the Little Olympics, which they do in Jefferson City with the 4th and 5th graders. And I only got to compete in that my 5th grade year because I broke my foot my 4th grade year. I trained for it, and then I did track every year after that, 6th, 7th, 8th, through high school.
What was your introduction to hurdles? I remember in 7th and 8th grade that it was pretty scary, people trying not to go over hurdles for the first time, and kids falling and going over the hurdle the wrong way and breaking arms. And tell me about your first experience with hurdles.
My first experience with hurdles, I think, was in the 7th grade, and really I just went there because they told us to pick our own event group, and my best friend and I looked around and we saw that there was no one over at hurdles, so we thought we could have the most fun over there, and so we just picked that up, and I stuck with it.
Right, Had some pretty quick success in high school, and quite a big success. Many-time state qualifier and many-time all-state, and kind of culminating with your senior year with the state title in the Class 4 of the 100 hurdles, and then let's see, top 2 or 3 finish in the 400 that came first, or the 300?
400 first.
400, and then I think going back through my pictures, it seems like it was about 18 minutes later that lining up for the 300 hurdles.
I didn't even know if it was that long. I know they wouldn't even let me sit down. I had to walk straight back to the finish and go again.
Right. So. And so some great multi-sprint and hurdle races and 4x4s for you. And did you ever lose a track meet in high school as a team? Where you were undefeated, weren't you?
We were undefeated all 4 years.
Yeah, I thought my cross-country high school record was pretty good. We lost maybe 1 regular season race and just maybe 3 or 4 postseason races, but no, it definitely doesn't compare to undefeated for 4 years and 4 state titles. So talk about what that was like, coming into the program and won a couple state titles, but then never tasting defeat in 4 years. That's pretty phenomenal. Yeah.
Well, I mean, our team individually never tasted defeat, but I didn't get first every race, so it wasn't like I don't know. I don't want to say I was up on my high horse whenever I came here. I knew that the collegiate level competition was so much higher than the high school, and that I just had to do everything I could just to be able to compete. So, I mean, I'd like to obviously stay undefeated through college and have our team go that far, but it's just such a high level of competition that.
But what was that like going to meets and knowing that we're going to win this meet as a team, and with so many other state champions and top college athletes like Vera and Leander Magruder and Brianna Bussell? What was it? I mean,
it was a lot of fun, just because it took most of the nervousness away, and so you could just not trying to sound cocky or anything, but you just know that if you stepped out on the track, you would get the job done, and it was just fun. You would just race, and so, I mean, I don't remember really ever. I mean, you'd get nervous a little bit just because it is a track meet, but most of the races, it was just, all the fun and games.
And I guess another one I didn't mention was Aaron Earlywine, who finished up a great redshirt freshman year at Central Missouri. And then you come to Mizzou and quickly found success in the 400 and the 4x4 and then the 400 hurdles, and kept lowering the school record. Tell me about you had success indoors in the 600 yards, multiple all-conference honors. Tell me about coming into your junior year and trying to go to the next level, and just what it's been like this outdoor season, and having a great conference race, and then obviously prelims, and now into nationals.
Well, every race, every year, every time I stepped on the track, I try to just better my previous mark is pretty much my goal. And if I keep doing that, then I'll keep getting higher up in the competition and just see how far that takes me. So, that's always one of my primary goals, is just to run faster than I did the last time.
Right.
And that's carried me pretty well so far through the season. So this is the furthest I've ever made it, and I am happy with my finish at Big 12s, but on the same token, it was a little bittersweet because over the past years, the 400 hurdles, it's gotten a lot more deep in the conference, whereas probably my freshman year, I know I want to say a high 57 won it. Last year, a low 57 won it. This year, it took a low 56. So even though I keep improving, the other girls kind of keep improving too. So it gets a little more difficult, but it's definitely fun competing, and I'm ecstatic with how far I've made it this season. It's kind of a wake-up call when you get here and you read NCAA championships, and you realize that every single Division I athlete in the entire United States has a chance to make it here, and that's kind of, to me, it's just a big honor in itself. So, I mean, just going to race as hard as I can, see how far I make it, but ecstatic to be here as it is.
Yeah. Finished fifth at Big 12s in 58.22. That was a PR. Mm-hmm. And then walk me through the West prelims. Had the opening round on Thursday. Is that right? Yes. And let's see, 48 qualifiers, and you finished 11th to qualify, which 24 went on to the next round. Let's see, what was your time there?
Not sure.
59.08. And then tell me about what the conditions like. And obviously that was your second time at Hayward, right? After
that was
your freshman
my third
year.
time.
Oh, okay. That's right. I guess sophomore year you guys went up to Oregon, and then after freshman year, were USATF Junior All-American at Hayward also for USATF Junior Nationals. And then were finals the next day, or were they?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that race. Obviously you knew, I don't know if you thought about it much, putting extra pressure on yourself, but you knew that a trip to the Nationals was on the line. Tell me about what you were thinking your mindset was for that on Friday.
Well, the main thing is I was just hoping for was a smooth race. I just wanted to run it as smooth as possible without messing any hurdles up, and I think I ran a fairly smooth race. But I knew that top 3 advanced in each heat, and so I just wanted to get out. And I was in lane 3, and most of the way I race is most of the time to try to catch as many people in the outside lanes, and as soon as I can make up the stagger as fast as possible. So that will kind of be a little bit of trouble today because I'm in lane 8. So, but I think that it can be a good thing also. Right,
you're running blind. You can't tell how you're doing. So.
Yeah, but so I knew I was in good position. I was going back and forth in that race, anywhere between second and fifth. Really, everyone was pretty close. And as we were coming off the 8th hurdle, 2 girls fell back, and it was really just the Iowa State girl and I going into the finish. And so I knew that since I was in 3rd that I was going to make it out. But I still hoped I'd beat her.
And you battled her for years now, County Alani.
Yeah, I beat her the first couple times I raced her my freshman year, and she's beat me ever since then. But it's getting closer and closer now, where it's only a couple hundredths of a second versus a couple tenths of a second.
Right. So was it excited then, obviously, or were you just subdued and just knowing that was your goal, or was that a pretty exciting moment, knowing that you'd made it?
That was very exciting. It was almost just kind of like in shock at first, just because I didn't really process right at first. Wow, I just got 3rd, made it. I was just kind of like used to this whole season doing what I needed to do, and so I just did that again. But then it took me a second to really realize that what I just did got me to this meet. So
because I think going into preliminary round, I think were maybe 30th or 30 something on the national list, and now here you are in the top 24, in the finals. But tell me, obviously today, it's 24 ladies going for those 8 final spots. What you need to do today, what your focus or thoughts are going into today's race?
Well, I had last week and a couple days before that, I had some really good days at practice where I was hurdling really smooth and fast. So hopefully I can do the same today. But my main goal is to just run fast and run smooth. If I can do both, I should be in good shape.
Tell me what it's like working with and being coached by Coach McGuire, who's retired now, and then some of the insights he's been able to give you, and then also working with Coach Peterson, who is athletically has gotten to about as far as you want to get. Most athletes want to get to the Olympics, and what any special insight or what it's been like working with him?
Well, Coach McGuire was great to work with, and that he would always laugh at me because most of the time I wasn't happy with my race unless I did a combination of running a personal best or setting a new record and winning, or I don't know. I'd have to excel in a couple different areas, and so he'd always, I think, kind of chuckle at that because he'd see success in so many different things that I would, and just he taught me to just really enjoy it and be happy with the race itself and track itself, and no matter what the outcome, to enjoy everything, including winning, not just winning itself. And so I really appreciated that, and so he was always good to talk to get the nervous jitters away and just get you to take a step back and realize, hey, this is fun, and Coach Peterson, he's great. I think he's a little bit the same as me in that just has a big competitive drive and internal competitiveness, where I don't think when he raced he was happy with himself unless he did the most he could do, and I think he kind of had the same racing style a little bit as I did, in that you just go out there and compete and do what you have to do and beat the person next to you, and so I think we kind of share that same I guess attitude towards racing, so that makes it fun. It's easy to relate to and easy to understand me and everything like that. So.
Go back, talk briefly about your obviously had a great career at Jeff City, but also the coaches that you work with there with Coach Dennis and Roberta Licklider, and then Coach Obermiller, and what they're kind of meant to you, or what they're what you gained from them.
They are all great coaches. I really enjoyed my 4 years competing at Jeff City. Coach, the Licklighters, I never realized how much they pushed us until I had left there, and I'm just amazed by how much they got high school students to do, and I just did what they told me to do, and always wanted more and everything, and kind of amazed to look back at it now, because they convinced me to do the I always complained that I wanted to run the 400 open because I knew I was good at it, but I always wanted to run the 300 hurdles too. So they, without, I guess, getting Coach Obermiller's approval, they put me in the 100 hurdles, 400, 300 hurdles, and 4x4 in one really big regular season meet. It was before I think it was a meet or two before districts, and when Coach Obermiller found out, I think it really freaked him out quite a bit. He thought that it was crazy and didn't know what they were doing, but they were the head coach, so we had to do what they said. And so I don't know. I never really realized that was a big task or a big feat to do. I just said, sure, I'm up for it. Sounds fun. We'll see what happens. And I just remember seeing Coach Obermiller's face, and he was just had the look of complete shock and just worry that whole track meet. And but I ran good in the 100 hurdles. I think I won the 100 hurdles at that meet, and then I think I won the 400. And then Coach Obermiller was just freaking out. Like, is there anything I can do? What can make you ready for the 300 hurdles? But then I just hopped on the track, and I ended up setting a personal best at that time for that race. And he just shook his head and shrugged his shoulders and just said, well, I guess it really doesn't matter, whatever, if it works for you. So, so I mean, that was always fun. They pushed me, and they really never let me realize how, I want to say incredible, but just how ridiculous what I was doing was. So I mean, that was fun, but I think Coach Obermiller always thought in the back of his head that had I not been running the 400 right before, just don't know how fast I could have gone in 300 hurdles. But I still did good, even though I had to do that. But I don't know, they're a fun crowd, and they very supportive and very entertaining.
And I guess I was always just enjoyed even your freshman year just watching you run, because you just have such a smooth, fluid motion. There's no wasted energy or wasted movement, and so being more of a middle distance runner, I was always like, man, they need to move her up to the 800, make her run the 4x8. I remember senior year, into your senior year, I was like, man, they should just pull her out of the 100 hurdle, put her in the 4x8, and they could maybe top 2 or 3 in the 4x8. Obviously, it shows how much I know, and you go on to be state champion in the 100 hurdles. But tell me what that's like moving up college and running the 600 yards, and then you dabbled in the 800 a little bit. Tell me what you think about the 600 and 800.
Well, like through high school, the strength of all my races was my finishing kick. I would normally, I remember when I was running 300 hurdles, I was rarely ever the first one to the first hurdle, but as soon as we hit the 150 mark, I would just kick it up a gear. So I know I always was, I guess, approached most of my races as a strength aspect rather than a speed aspect.
Right.
Except for the 100 hurdles, you have to have a speed aspect. But so it really wasn't that big of a difference. I mean, it's a little bit different of a feel. It kind of gives you more of an all-over fatigue just as a leg burn. But no, it really wasn't bad at all. The biggest, the 600. 600 was pretty easy for me to move into just because it's not that big of a pace difference from the 400, but the 800, I mean, I think I could potentially be good at it, but it's just so much of a different pace than I'm used to running, and it's just so much of an experience race, too. I remember the first time I ran it indoor was at Notre Dame, and I think that was the first time. It might not have been, but I was supposed to, my strategy most of the races to go out was to tag on a girl that was, let her pace in, to tag on her, and then just pass her at the end. But that race, nobody wanted to take the lead, and it was, I knew the pace was way too slow, and so I just took the lead because I was like, this is ridiculous, I can't run this slow. But I ended up pacing it completely awful, where I ran through the first 400. I remember Coach Rebecca Wilmus yelling like 57, 58, 59, so I came through at like 58 or 59, and I was supposed to come through like at 62, so I was like, oh shoot. So then after she said that, and that was one of my first times racing, I had no idea how I'd be able to hold on at the end, so I remember I ran past Coach Peterson with kind of my arms out, like, what am I supposed to do? And he just was like, just keep running. And so I slowed it down, hoping that someone would pass me and take the pace, and no one did, so we ended up running that third 200 like ridiculously slow, and I was fine just because we ran that one so slow that then I just sprinted the last 200 home. So I mean, I ended up running, I think, a 2:12, which isn't terrible, but I before as stupid as I ran the race, I know that that race, if I get more experience, more practice, and training for, I think I could be good at it. But
well, definitely, it's a little bit different training.
But I mean, it's hard to get used to it indoors, just because all the tracks indoors are different lengths, and it's just so awkward to run indoors.
Totally different atmosphere from track to track.
Yeah, I won't let Coach Peterson put me in it outdoors. I'm saying I'm running the 400 hurdles every single weekend. You're not putting me in the 800. So I mean, he may make me do it, but as of right now, I'm not letting him. So.
I would suggest, even just as a fan, to if you push and see how far and how high you can get it in the 400 hurdles, and once you feel like you maybe peaked out, to maybe start putting it a few miles and see how, if you can run 56, 400 or 57 or 58 400 hurdles, and going 61 or 62 for 2 laps hopefully shouldn't be too bad. But,
I don't know. We'll see.
It's pretty brutal. It's kind of a all the official 800 meter, the sprints, 100 meter dash, 200, 400 meter, 800 meter dash, and then they get 1500 meter run. So I've taken up plenty of your time, but congratulations on making it, and good luck later today, and hopefully we will